In this video, let's go ahead and practice adding and subtracting decimals together. So let's go ahead and see what we got to do. In part one, we're going to go ahead and see if we can find the sum of some decimals. Keep in mind the word sum just means we're going to be adding decimals, and make sure we're going to go ahead and add zeros as needed. We're going to go ahead and write those in if we need to. So in this first one for A, we have 6.5 plus 4.3, or 6 5/10 plus 4 3/10. Notice how they both have one decimal place, so it's nice. We don't need to add any extra zeros. So let's go ahead and add these together. What we're going to do is stack them on top of each other. When we're adding and subtracting, it doesn't matter which one is on top or bottom as long as the decimals and the place values are all lined up. So let's go ahead and add these up. We add from right to left with the smaller place values to the bigger place values. So 5 plus 3 is going to be 8. Let's go ahead and put the 8 down here. Bring the decimal straight down into the sum or the answer to an addition problem. And then 6 plus 4 is going to be 10. Let's go ahead and put the 0 in the ones place, and the 1 goes in the tens place. So our sum here, or the answer to this addition problem, is going to be 10.8, or 10 8/10. All right. Let's check out example B, or part B here. We have 3 85/100 plus 4 57/100, or we can also see here that we have two place values and you can see that we have two place values and two place values. So again, we're not going to have to add any additional zeros here because all the place values are taken care of. So we have this 3 85/100 plus this 4 57/100. So just go to make sure you line up the place values and line up the decimals. Adding from the smallest place value first, 5 plus 7 is going to be 12. Put the 2 and carry the 1 into the tenths place. 1 plus 8 is 9, and 9 plus 5 is going to be 14. We'll put the 4 and carry the 1 into the ones place. Now 1 plus 3 is 4, and 4 plus 4 is going to be 8. So I think the sum here is going to be 8.42, or 8 42/100. All right. In part C, we have 9 65/100 plus 5 7/10. So this is the first one where we see the place values don't match. So we're going to have to add some zeros just to keep things organized. So let's say we have 9 65/100. Go ahead and put that on top. That's fine. Plus this 5.7. Now again, you can add zeros at the end of decimals as long as to the right of the decimal. And we are lining them up so we have the same number of place values. So 5 plus 0 is going to be 5. 6 plus 7 is going to be 13. We'll put the 3 and carry the 1 into the ones place. Bring the decimal straight down. 1 plus 9 is going to be 10, and 10 plus 5 is going to be 15. So we're looking at a sum here of 15 35/100. All right, cool. Let's check out another one. In example D here, we have 8 4/10 plus 7 93/100. Now notice that we do have one place value and two place values. You have tenths and hundredths, so we can add a 0 to stay organized. So we're gonna have 8.4. Let's go ahead and add a 0 so we also have hundredths. And let's go ahead and add on this 7 93/100 to it. All right, cool. So 0 plus 3 is gonna be 3. 4 plus 9 is gonna be 13. Let's put the 3 and carry the 1. The decimal is gonna come straight down. And 1 plus 8 is 9, and 9 plus 7 is going to be 16. So we're looking at a sum here of 16.33, or 16 33/100. Let's check out letter E. For letter E, it looks like we have some more place values. So we have 18 495/1000 plus 8 9/10. Okay, so they don't have the same number of place values. So let's go ahead and take care of that. So first, I'm going to go ahead and write this 18.495 on top. Let's go ahead and add on this 8.9 on bottom. Now the 8 is in the ones place, so let's put the 8 here in the ones place. The 9 is in the tenths place. That's going to go right underneath the other number in the tenths place. Let's go ahead and add 2 zeros in here just so we can stay organized with our place values. Now 5 plus 0 is still 5. 9 plus 0 is going to be 9. 4 plus 9 is going to be 13. We'll put the 3 and carry the 1. 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 plus the 1 is going to be 17. Let's put the decimal point here. The 7 is from the 17, carry the 1 into the tens place. 1 plus 1 is 2, so 2 tens makes 20. So we're going to have a sum here of 27 395/1000. All right, let's check out letter F. For letter F, we have 15 64/100, and we also have 9 249/1000. Okay, so we have different place values, so keep that in mind. We're going to have to add a 0. So I'm going to go ahead and put this 15.64 on top. I'm also going to add a 0 just because we have 3 decimal places in our other answer. Plus, and I'm going to write this 9.249. Just make sure we line up those place values nice and organized. All right. So 0 plus 9 is going to be 9. 4 plus 4 is going to be 8. 6 plus 2 is going to be another 8. Let's bring that decimal straight down. 5 plus 9 is going to be 14. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is going to be 2. So we're looking at a sum here of 24 and 889 thousandths. All right, looking at G, looks like we have a whole number of 18, so it doesn't look like there's a decimal at all here, plus 53 and 51 hundredths. Okay, so if we do have two place values in the second number, we do need two place values for the first number. So how can we rewrite 18? Well, 18 is really 18.00, so that's the same thing. So keep in mind that if you don't see a decimal, it's at the end to the right of the number. And then the 53, we're gonna go ahead and write underneath the 18 as the whole numbers. And then 51 are the two decimal place values here. So 0 plus 1 is going to be 1. 0 plus 5 is going to be 5. The decimal comes straight down. 8 plus 3 is going to be 11. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. And 2 plus 5 is going to be 7. So we're looking at a sum here of 71.51. For letter H, we have 42 and 96 hundredths, and we have this whole number of 29. So it's kind of similar to the last example we just tried. I'm going to put this 42.96 on top, plus, and then 29 is the same thing as 29.00. So keep that in mind that we can add that decimal point and the two zeros. 6 plus 0 is going to be 6. 9 plus 0 is going to be 9. 2 plus 9 is going to be 11. Put the 1 and carry the 1 over here. 1 plus 4 is 5, and 5 plus 2 is going to be 7. So we're looking at a sum here of 71.96. All right, now that we tried some addition problems, let's go ahead and try some subtraction problems. Notice the directions for the second section says find the difference. So difference just means that we are going to be subtracting. For A, we have 9.7 minus 5.3. We do have tenths and tenths for both of these, so we don't have to add any zeros for this problem. So let's go ahead and put 9.7 on top, and then minus 5.3 on bottom. Now, while addition, you can choose which one you want to write on top or bottom. For subtraction, the first number always is going to go on top, and the second number is always going to go on bottom. All right, so 7 minus 3 first is going to be 4. And now we can bring the decimal straight down, just like in addition. And then 9 minus 5 is going to be 4. So our answer for this first one is going to be 4.4. For letter B, we have this 7.97 minus 4.54. So they both also have two decimal places, so we don't need to be adding any extra zeros at all. So we have 7.97 minus this 4.54. So we line everything up here. That's really nice. 7 minus 4 is going to be 3. 9 minus 5 is going to be 4. Bring the decimal straight down. Then 7 minus 4 is going to be 3. So our difference here is going to be 3 and 43 hundredths. For letter C, we have 8.45 minus this 4.7. So we don't have the same number of place values. So let's go ahead and add a 0 as needed. Let's put this 8.45 on top because it must go first here on top. And then let's subtract this 4.7. Let's go ahead and add a 0 so our decimal places are lined up. All right. So first things first, 5 minus 0 is going to be 5. That's fine. And then this 4 minus 7, we're going to have to borrow here. So let's go ahead and borrow from this 8. We'll just make that a 7. And let's go ahead and give that value over to the 4. So that becomes a 14. We add 10 to it, right? Now 14 minus a 7 is going to be 7. Decimal is going to come straight down. And 7 minus 4 is going to be 3. So our difference here is going to be 3.75 or 3 and 75 hundredths. All right, let's see. For letter D, we have 18.5, and we're going to be subtracting 7.36. So notice we have two decimal places in the second number, but only one in the first. So let's go ahead and add a 0 to take care of that. So 18.5. Let's go ahead and put another 0 at the end of this one so that we have everything lined up. The 7 is in the ones place, and the 36 is going to go right after the decimal. Let's go ahead and subtract here. All right, so 0 minus 6, right away, we're going to have to borrow from the 5. This is going to become a 4, and the 0 we can write as a 10. 10 minus the 6 now is okay. We're going to get 4. And then 4 minus 3 is going to be 1. The decimal is going to come straight down. 8 minus 7 is going to be 1, and the 1 is going to come down here. So our difference here is going to be 11.14. Let's check out letter E. For letter E, we have this 38 and 195 thousandths minus this 12.9. So we have 3 decimal places and only 1 decimal place. We're going to have to add some zeros here. So let's see, 38.195 minus 12.9. So it looks like we're missing 2 zeros here. So let's go ahead and put 2 zeros just so that we can line up everything. Now it's kind of nice they're on bottom, right? Because 5 minus 0 is going to be 5. 9 minus 0 is going to be 9. 1 minus 9, we're going to have to borrow a little here. So let's borrow from the 8. The 8 we can write as a 7. And this 1, if we add 10 to that, that's going to be 11. All right, always add 10 when you're borrowing there. So 11 minus 9 is going to be 2. Bring the decimal straight down. 7 minus 2 is going to be 5, and then 3 minus 1 is going to be 2. So we're looking at an answer here of 25.295. For letter F here, we have 25 and 7 tenths minus 7 and 482 thousandths. I think we're going to have to add some zeros in here. So let's take this 25.7. Let's also go ahead and add 2 zeros so that it's going to match the place values of our other number. And minus 7, which goes in the ones place under the 5. And let's put this 482 right underneath each of the other place values. Okay. We're going to have to do some borrowing here because the 0 is smaller than the 2. So let's go ahead and borrow. But it looks like we're going to have to go all the way to the 7. So the 7 is going to become a 6. Let's go ahead and give 10 to the next number, but we're going to have to borrow from it in just a moment. So it'll become a 9, and this 0 will become a 10 here. Okay, so it's kind of just passing that along. 10 minus 2 now we can subtract is 8. 9 minus 8 is going to be 1. 6 minus 4 is going to be 2. Let's put that place value or that decimal place right underneath there. And then this 5 needs to borrow from the 2, so the 2 is going to become a 1, and this 5 will become 15. 15 minus this 7 is going to be 8, and the 1's going to come straight down. So we're looking at a difference here of 18.218. That'll be our answer. For letter G, we have this 47, which is a whole number, minus 13 and 58 hundredths, so that has 2 decimal places. So let's see, we can rewrite 47 as 47.00, right? We can always add 2 zeros or as many zeros as we need to after the decimal place. Minus, and it's going to write 13.58. All right, so we're going to have to do some borrowing if the zeros are on top here. Let's go ahead and borrow all the way from the 7. The 7 is going to become a 6. It's going to give 10 to the 0, but we're going to borrow from that one as well. So it'll become a 9, and this 0 will become a 10. So 10 minus 8 is going to be 2. 9 minus 5 will be 4. Bring that decimal straight down. 6 minus 3 is going to be 3, and 4 minus 1 is going to be 3. So we're looking at a difference here of 33 and 42 hundredths. All right, here's one more example or practice problem here. We have 25 and 69 hundredths minus this whole number of 18. So it's actually kind of nice, you'll see, because the zeros will be on bottom. So it's going to write 25.69 on top minus 18.00 on bottom. Right? So if the zeros are on bottom, we're going to have some less borrowing here in general. 9 minus 0 is going to be 9. 6 minus 0 is going to be 6. Bring the decimal straight down. Now we do need to borrow. So we're this 2 we can borrow from, become a 1. The 5 gets another 10, so that's 15. 15 minus 8 is going to be 7. Then 1 minus 1 is going to be 0. So we're looking at a difference here of 7 and 69 hundredths. All right, now that we tried some problems where we just practiced the algorithms and just the process, let's try a couple word problems together. In number 3, Olivia goes to the store and buys some snacks for $7.58, a new shirt for $24.89, and a drink for $2.19. If these prices include tax and Olivia paid with a $50 bill, determine how much change Olivia should receive from the cashier. All right, first thing we're going to do here is to find out how much she spent on all of the food. So we don't have to write the dollar signs, but I'm going to go ahead and do so. Let's take this $7.58. Let's go ahead and add the $24.89. So 24, make sure we go ahead and line up the place values and the decimal places, $24.89. And then this $2.19, let's go ahead and put $2 in the ones place. And then the 19 cents goes in the tenths and the hundredths place. So if we're going ahead and adding here, just make sure all the place values are lined up. We can add more than one set of decimals together. So you have 3 decimals that we can add together here. So let's start with in the hundredths place here. 8 plus 9 is going to be 17. 17 plus 9 is going to be 26. So let's go ahead and put the 6 down here in the pennies place and put the 2 in the dimes place here. Okay. Next, let's go ahead and add all the dimes here together. So 2 plus 5 is going to be 7. 7 plus 8 is going to be 15. 15 plus 1 is going to be 16. So if we have 16 dimes, that's going to be, let's see, $1.60. So we'll put the 6 here in the dimes place, and we'll put the 1 in the dollars place here. So the decimals, notice these decimals here are all lined up beautifully. Go ahead and put that decimal lined up in your answer as well. Okay, now we're into the dollars here. Let's go ahead and add up all the dollars. So 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus 4 is going to be 12, and 12 plus 2 is going to be $14. Let's go ahead and put a 4 in the ones place. We'll put a 1 in the tens place. So now we're in the tens place. We have this 1, which is $10. We have this 2, which is $20. 1 plus 2 is 3. So this is $30, or also known as $34.66. This right here was a total amount of money that Olivia spent. Now the question does ask how much change she got when she gave her money to the cashier. So how much money did she give the cashier? Well, she gave the cashier $50. So let's go ahead and put $50 here, and let's subtract the amount of money that she spent to figure out what change she should get back. So let's go ahead and subtract this $34.66 and see what her change is going to be that she should be getting back from the cashier. So I think we're gonna have to do some borrowing here, but that's okay. Let's see here. It looks like this 5 needs to give up some values here. So this will become a 4. This will become a 10, but we're gonna have to borrow again. So it's a 9. This will become a 10, but it's going to be borrowed from again, so it's a 9. And this last 0 does get the full 10 because it doesn't need to give any value to anything else. So this right here, 10 minus 6 is going to be 4. 9 minus 6 is going to be 3. The decimal is going to come straight down. 9 minus 4 is going to be 5. And 4 minus 3 is going to be 1. So this right here would be the change that Olivia should expect to receive. So putting this all together, we can say that Olivia should get $15.34 in change. Let's try out number 4. In number 4, a tennis court measures 23.77 meters by 10.97 meters. Determine the perimeter of a tennis court measured in meters. All right, so first things first, a tennis court is rectangular, so we can just make a sketch of a rectangle here. Then we have this 23.77 meters. That's going to be the length of the tennis court, I guess, right? So that would be 23.77. That's going to be the length of it. And then we also are told the width of this thing. So the width of the tennis court we can see is going to be 10.97 meters. So let's go ahead and write that in our picture. So this is going to be the 10.97. That's going to be the width. Now to find the perimeter of a rectangle, you can just add all 4 sides of the rectangle. So if we go ahead and add this 23.77 plus another 23.77 for the other side since they're the same, plus we can add 10.97 for this width, plus another 10.97 on top. If we add those all together, we can get the perimeter here. So there are different ways of finding perimeter, but this is definitely a nice, easy way to kind of hopefully think about it. So 23.77, another 23.77. Keep in mind that there are 2 of them that are the same on either side. Then we have this 10.97. That's going to be the width. But we also have another 10.97 for the 4th side of this rectangle. So let's go ahead and add up these 4 sides to get the perimeter. All right, so we have 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7, or 7 times 4. That's going to be 28. Let's go ahead and put an 8 here in the hundredths place and carry a 2 on top. Now for the tenths place, let's see, 2 plus 7 is going to be 9. We have 3 9s, which makes 27. Then 27 plus another 7 is going to be 34. So let's go ahead and put a 4 down here in the tens place and put a 3 in the ones place here. The decimals are all lined up beautifully. We can put the decimals straight down. Now for the ones place, looks like we have a 3, a 3, a 3, and a 0, and a 0. So 3 3s makes 9. We don't have to do much with those zeros there, so we can put a 9. And then if we look in the tens place, we have a 2, a 2, a 1, and a 1. So 20 plus 20 plus 10 plus 10 is really just the same thing as 60. So our total perimeter here is going to be 69.48 meters. And so if you're wondering what the perimeter of a tennis court is in meters, it would be 69.48 meters all the way around the tennis court. All right, let's check out number 5. One more problem. In the 2024 Olympic Games, the United States women's 4x100 meter relay team members each ran 11.46 seconds, 9.98 seconds, 10.25 seconds, and 10.09 seconds for each leg of the race, winning them the gold medal. In Part A, let's go ahead and determine the US women's 4x100 winning total time. Let's go ahead and do that by adding up each of their individual times they ran for each part of the relay race. So let's go ahead and do that by lining up the decimals. So let's go ahead and take this 11.46. That was the lead leg, or the first person with the baton, plus this second person ran 9.98 seconds. So put that 9 in the ones place. Let's go ahead and put the decimal right underneath the other decimal, line up those place values. The third person ran a 10.25 seconds. So again, go ahead and line everything up there. The decimals have to be on top of each other. And then the anchor leg here, the last person to cross the finish line, or the last person in the relay, the person who is going to carry that baton across the finish line ran 10.09 seconds. So let's go ahead and add up these 4 times to figure out their total time. So in the hundredths place here, let's go ahead and add 6 plus 8 is going to be 14, plus 5 is going to be 19, 19 plus 9 is going to be 28. So let's go ahead and put an 8 over here in the hundredths place and carry a 2 up top here. Let's go ahead and add all of these numbers in the tenths place now. So 2 plus 4 is going to be 6, 6 plus 9 is 15, 15 plus 2 is going to be 17. So let's go ahead and put a 7 in the tenths place and carry 1 into the ones place and bring that decimal straight down. So let's see, in the ones place we have 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 9 is going to be 11. So let's go ahead and put a 1 here and carry a 1 into the tens place. Next, in the ones place, if we add this 1 plus 1 plus 9, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 9 is going to be 11. So let's go ahead and put a 1 in the ones place and carry 1 into the tens place. Now in the tens place, we have 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So 4 ones here is going to be 4, so 41.78. And so by running 41.78 seconds for the 4x100 relay, the women's US team won gold medal. All right, let's see. In Part B, it says if France's team finished in 42.23 seconds to get 4th place, so they didn't get a medal, determine how much faster the US team was than the French team. Okay, so what we're going to do here is let's go ahead and take the French team, which ran a little slower here, right, of 42.23 seconds. Let's see how much slower they were from the US team, which was 41.78 seconds. So when you're finding the difference between their times, you just go ahead and subtract. All right, so let's go ahead and see. We're gonna have to bar a little bit here. I think we're gonna bar all the way from this 2. So the 2 is gonna become a 1. And we're gonna give 10 to the next number to the right. So this 2 is gonna become a 12. But let's see, we're gonna have to borrow for the 3. So this is gonna become an 11 and the 3 will become a 13. It's gonna gain 10. So 13 minus 8 is going to be 5. Then 11 minus 7 is going to be 4. The decimal is gonna come straight down. 1 minus 1 is going to be 0, and 4 minus 4 is going to be 0. So it looks like the US team was 0.45 or 45 hundredths, or also known as a little less than half a second faster than the French team. All right, so there you have a few different practice problems dealing with adding and subtracting decimals. If you found the video helpful, please consider giving it a thumbs up and sharing with a classmate or friend who might also find it helpful. And as always, keep up the great work that you're already doing.